So about a few months back, we made a video showing you how we edit our videos, our workflow and process of putting together the final product. We briefly touched on how I clean up and improve audio in post, and I got a couple of questions and a few requests to make a more detailed explanation on our audio process, not necessarily the video, but just the audio. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and show you my process of cleaning the audio up, and also my settings for making everything sound good. So my audio editing software of choice is Adobe Audition. I have been using this for as long as I can remember. It's really the only software I've ever used. I've never really tried out GarageBand before, and I've never used Audacity. And many people do say that they're really the same. You can do what I'm doing in this program and other ones. I really don't know if that's true. So if you believe Audacity does have a lot of these features, definitely go ahead and do that. It's not the software that's really limiting you here, but these are just the settings that I use in Audition. They may be different for your operating system or your software. I really don't know if GarageBand can do this. I doubt it can. But let's go ahead and get started. So I have just a quick audio sample right here that I just recorded. Hoy voy a explicar dos cosas. And I feel like this does a pretty good job of replicating a pretty common audio situation that I have with our videos. And there is a couple things I do right away before I do any type of improvements at all. First, I look and see, is there any major spikes that could affect or throw off the software when it comes to actually being able to normalize it, which is raising the volumes up. So as you can see right here, we do have a really good peak. So let me play that. And we hit almost 0. So what I like to do is I zoom into these spikes really close. And typically the spikes aren't me talking, but if they're not, I delete them. In this case, I'm just going to select that and lower it. So it's about a pretty normal volume with the rest of the software. Next, I look at where is the audio generally falling for a typical volume. So if we take a look right here, it's around about -6. So that's not bad. When we do play, you can see we are hitting at about -5, -6 right here on the levels. So for the most part, this is a pretty good volume for starters. It's going to get raised up with my default effects rack. But if the audio is generally really, really low, or if it's from a poor quality microphone or something, what I do is I go up into favorites and I say normalize to -0.1 decibels. This is going to raise the levels up and put them up to the very highest point that it possibly can, which is 0.1 decibels. And that is what's going to give you a great volume, and you don't have to raise your speakers up. So that's what I do if it's really quiet, but this one is a pretty good volume, so I'm not going to do that. So now that we got that done, the next thing we're going to do is apply our effects rack. So I have a default preset right here, which is Mark's voice. And I have 5 things, so a graphics equalizer, dynamics processing, parametric equalizer, adaptive noise reduction, and hard limiter. Let's go through each one of them here. So first I have graphics equalizer, and I do have custom settings. So the ones I really only changed were these ones right here. So you can go ahead and copy these settings if you want. I'm not really going to read everything and show you everything I changed. So you can just look at that and copy my stuff. So this is my graphics equalizer. I use a 20 band other than the other ones that are out there. Dynamics processing. I just added 1 control point and I raised it up just a tiny bit. This is going to give a little bit of contrast in the voice. Parametric equalizer is kind of going to be bouncing the lows and the highs just a tiny bit. So that's what I got right here. Adaptive noise reduction. I only really do my effects rack for mainly voiceovers, and this microphone's pretty good, so it does not have much noise in the background. You can see we do have a little bit of noise right here. So for the most part, adaptive noise reduction works good. I do capture a noise point, and I do a noise process reduction. If it's really bad, I really don't have an issue usually. And then finally, hard limiter. It gives that little crunchy, crisp sound. You know what it is when you hear it. So this is my settings right here. And then I feel like altogether this is a little bit strong, a little too much for me. So I usually set my wet to about 60%. This is basically just your intensity. So like 0% is none, 100% is like the most. So it's like about a 50-50 mix with my FX rack and the not. So then I apply that. And as you can see, our audio levels get raised up. But what I love about my FX rack that I use is that it mainly keeps everything at the exact same level. So there's not a huge change between the highs and the lows in terms of volume, not in terms of bass. So the volume is very, very even all throughout, and I love that. So we can go ahead and take a listen to this.
Hoy voy a explicar dos cosas.
So that's kind of what I do. Doing this does bring up a little bit of hissing and popping, usually after I finish saying something. So like right here, this little pop is a little bit more pronounced than it used to be. So I typically either lower that or I just delete it altogether. And as you can see, we got a little bit more right here. So that's kind of what I do. And I think overall it sounds pretty good.
Es bastante fácil y es un poco complicado primero.
Well, there you go. That is our process of editing audio. I hope this helped you out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to help you. I am not an audio engineer. I do not know what I am doing. These are just settings I played around with for a while, and I found them relatively pleasing. So that's it. Thank you for watching as always. If you like this video, leave a like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. This is Mark with Apple Tech 128, and I'll see you in the next one.